In today's video, I'm going to talk about how to become a vegan and stay a vegan for life, hopefully. And the number one answer on how to do that is motivation. We need motivation for everything we do in life, right? But motivation has to be driven by the right source. So for many people, the motivation is they got a diagnosis of heart disease, or they had a heart attack, or they became so far overweight. But usually sickness, illness, or symptoms are the fastest motivators, right? But then there's other people who don't want to get there, and they become motivated because they saw a movie like Forks Over Knives or some very motivating movie, and they decide they want to make the change because they believe that's going to extend their life and give them more energy and just a better quality of life. And this is the best motivation of all because you're not sick yet, right? But when you're sick, it's an incredible motivation, but sometimes the road to wellness is just longer and harder. So I always recommend people to take this step of going plant-based as early as possible. So let's talk about some tips on how we can stay motivated, and even how do we begin to become a vegan or go on our plant-based journey. So the first thing is you have to ask yourself, are you a baby stepper that needs baby steps, and that's how you work better? And if that's you, then that's how I recommend you do it. Or are you an all or nothing person? That's how I am, and sometimes I just say, man, I don't know, I get so motivated and so excited about something, I just jump in. But for a lot of people, that really just doesn't work. So go with what feels good for you. If you feel better doing little baby steps, then what I recommend is that you maybe start with meatless Mondays, and every Monday you find a new recipe. And it's good to find a new recipe on Monday if you can do it. That means after 1 month you have 4 new recipes, and if you loved what you made, then you keep it in a file and you keep that and you do that. And then once you're moving along and you're pretty happy with your meatless Mondays, that means all of your meals and all of your snacks are going to be all plant-based on Mondays. And once you feel comfortable with that, you add 1 more day. And then just keep adding another day. And each time you do it, try to keep finding new recipes so that you can have maybe 15 recipes, right? If you could have 20 or 25 recipes, which isn't that hard to do, especially if you're a subscriber to Soul Canyon Kitchen, because as you know, I make so many delicious recipes and they're all plant-based. So if you can do that, now you have a nice little base of recipes to pull from, because I think that's the number one reason why people stop being a vegan, because they find that they're just too overwhelmed to know what to eat, and they feel totally overwhelmed when they go to a restaurant. But honestly, you guys, I've traveled on the tour in towns that there wasn't a single vegan restaurant. It's not difficult. You just have to know what to ask for, and once you know, you can call ahead and you could say, could you have the chef make me a giant salad? Like once I remember going out with my dad to eat somewhere, and they didn't have anything vegan, but they had all these delicious giant salads, like taco salads, and they would have, you know, seafood in their salads and all kind of stuff. And I would say, could you have the chef take out the chicken of the taco and the bacon and then just put in a big grilled portobello mushroom? And they did it. And they did it. Or I've even been to like a steakhouse and I just had to make me a whole side of veggies, a baked potato, and a big salad. And you just have to do the best that you can, because nowadays it's not that hard. First of all, there's a lot of vegan restaurants. There's a lot of vegan food in the grocery stores. So in the beginning, you're going to use more and more transition foods, like maybe those plant-based meats that make you feel like you're getting a little bit reminder of what you used to like. So those are very helpful foods. So, you know, be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up when you make a mistake. Try to add a new recipe to your file every week if you can. Keep your favorites, throw out the ones you didn't like, buy 2, 3, or 4 great vegan cookbooks, subscribe to a few vegan channels that make great vegan food like Soul Canyon Kitchen, and then just start. My second tip would be learn to cook a little. You don't have to become a great chef. You don't even really have to learn to love to cook if you don't want to. But when you learn to cook a little, you learn to make things like rice and beans and quinoas and veggies, and you can get an air fryer and it makes things easier, and you can throw your cauliflower in there and throw over a little sauces like I do. You don't need to love to cook to do that, but you need, 15 minutes. And you've got to have 15 minutes if you want to feed your body good food. So staying a vegan for the long term really means that you have a nice repertoire of recipes to pull from, and that you're not going to eat these bad foods because you're hungry and you don't know what to make. Another reason that you're going to stay vegan for the long term is because you're seeing the health benefits of it already. You're sleeping better, your headaches are less, you're feeling better, you've lost a little weight, and whenever you feel better or your symptoms start decreasing, of course, motivation is easy then, right? So that's really important. And the great thing about transitioning to a plant-based diet, you start feeling good right away. You start feeling so many symptoms go away. Even right in the beginning, you'll notice great changes. And so then you have more motivation to keep going. So those few tips like that can really, really help you. Another tip would be do it with a friend. Tell your friend, let's try vegan for 6 months, or let's do vegan for 3 months, or let's do vegan Mondays together, or whatever it is that works. And I think it's important for some people to say, I just want to be a vegan today, and I want to try my best to love what I'm doing and prepare my food and really love what I'm doing. But I'm not going to put the pressure on myself to stay a vegan forever, because I think some people, that makes them feel like they're in a trap, and then they start thinking, oh, I'll never have an egg again, and I'll never have a steak again. And then that's just that just feels too restrictive. So for some people, that's not the right approach. And other people just go, oh my God, I watched the movie, Forks Over Knives, and then I watched, What the Health, and I'm a vegan for life instantly. And that's the end, and they never question it anymore, and they're a vegan for life. But we're all different, and there's no right way or wrong way, but you have to do it your way. But I can tell you from working with hundreds of clients in my practice, some people aren't motivated, some people don't want to change, they can't imagine eating different. They tell you, I won't give up dairy if it kills me, and that's their choice. That's their choice. But if you're one of the people watching this video that really wants to take the next step to go from vegetarian to vegan, or from being a meat-eating carnivore to vegetarian or vegan, then take the step and do it step by step, or do it all at once, but be prepared. And the way to be prepared is know what you want to make. Have your kitchen stocked with some basic ingredients, always having beans, always having lentils, always having rice, always having 5 or 6 veggies in your fridge, always having lettuce for salads. Go to the farmer's market, buy fresh things, look up recipes online. It always takes an effort in the beginning to do anything new. You didn't learn how to shoot a great photo from your camera if you're a photographer overnight. It took practice. I didn't learn to make a beautiful golf swing overnight. Lloyd didn't learn how to ride a motorcycle really fast without practice. We all practice to get better, and being a vegan for life takes practice with not only your cooking skills, but building a kitchen that has the ingredients in there so that when you're hungry, you can go make something and you don't have to think, oh my God, I'm a vegan and there's nothing for me to eat. No, there's mushrooms in my drawer and I have a beautiful piece of sourdough toast and I'm gonna go grill those up and put that on there. Or I've got a cauliflower in my drawer, my fridge, and I'm gonna put that in my air fryer with those lovely spices from that recipe that I learned on Soul Canyon Kitchen, and I'm gonna go eat the whole thing for lunch. Or I'm gonna make that watermelon smoothie because that just sounds so good right now. It's hot out and I'm just gonna cut my watermelon, throw it in my Vitamix, and now I have a beautiful, delicious drink that's filling. You have to have things in your house, otherwise you will fail. And when all else fails, have something in your freezer so that you have something to eat and you don't have to revert back to eating something that you didn't want to. So it's kind of like the Boy Scouts always said, be prepared. All right, you guys, I hope this has helped you, and if you learned anything from my channel, please subscribe, and thank you so much. I'll see you next time.